Hi, this is Craig with Lionquestfitness, and today we have something of a mystery revolver, at least mysterious in the beginning. I saw this on a gun counter and I was like, whoa, Model 19 Smith & Wesson. And I said, by hook or crook, I'm going to own it. But here's the thing. What do we have? We've got a Taurus 66. Now, Smith & Wesson and Taurus at one point in time were owned by the same company. That's why you see many of the earlier Taurus revolvers looking almost a carbon copy of a Smith & Wesson revolver. This was a company called Banga Punta, and between 1970 and 1977, they owned both companies. Contrary to what some Smith & Wesson fans will tell you, they'll forget the guy, just adamant. Smith & Wesson and Taurus were never owned by the same company. I'm sorry, you were wrong. Now, this looks a good bit like a Model 19, but they are differences. I do not know what year this gun was made. I do know it has the transfer bar safety, but it also has a serrated trigger. So, and it came when I bought it, it already had these Packmeyer grips. So let's compare it to, I don't have a Model 19, but I got a Model 66. What we have here is a Smith & Wesson Model 66-2. Now, the 66 was the stainless version of the Model 19. Now, this one has firing pin on the hammer, but it has a smooth trigger. Now, comparatively to the Taurus, the trigger action is very smooth. Whereas the Taurus, it's more of a stiff break and then it breaks. Stiff break. Stiff break. Not a bad trigger, but definitely not a Smith & Wesson trigger. Now, some other differences. The Taurus, they have a round forcing cone, as opposed to the Smith & Wessons of that time that had a flat forcing cone, which tended to make them susceptible for that forcing cone to crack, depending on how many rounds you shot and then whether you were shooting hot rounds in the gun. Now, another difference was in that rear sight. This is rather crude. Compared to the sight on the Smith & Wesson. Another thing, the 66, and I'm pretty sure the Model 19s as well, had an orange insert on the front ramp sight. Whereas I had to go with orange paint on the Taurus. Now, an interesting story about this gun, it no longer belongs to me. It's like, what? Well, I bought it on layaway. It didn't cost that much. Lockup was good, so I put it on layaway. It's easier for me to buy firearms that way, especially ones that aren't that expensive. So when I brought it home, it's like, how am I going to get this in the house? And I walked in, and my wife, it was our anniversary, and I'd already done some very nice things for her, and, throughout the week. And she was saying, Greg, I appreciate everything you do for us and how hard you work for us and how hard you've worked over the years. She said, that's why I don't mind if you buy yourself another firearm. Why I don't mind you collecting firearms. When she said that, I said, well, let me go get something out of the car. And so I brought this in, and she goes, "You dog." But she was laughing about it. But then I showed it to my youngest daughter, and she goes, "It's mine." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "It's mine. It's mine, Dad." So anyway, I let her take it out. She shot it. She shot it well. And so it is hers. So this is Greg with Lionquestfitness.